Welcome to the Outreach Mentor once again. If you're not connected, do subscribe and make sure that you get your alerts each time we are on. Today's episode is really very special to me because it's got two very important careers. One is architecture and one is law. Architecture because my father was an architect and a real professional one at that. In fact, he would just look at blueprint and he would see a plan and elevation and he would construct the most beautiful building that ever was. And I really owe him a lot because what I am today is because of him. And the other career is law. Law because the truth is so important to me and I'm sure it's something we need in this world. And so we have two wonderful students talking to us today about these amazing careers. So do stay tuned.
Hey everyone, my name is Pooja Anil and I'm a 4th year architecture student studying here in Kerala, and today I'm going to talk about architecture and the course in general. Architecture is a field which can be related to anything under the sky. Being such a vast field, it's literally impossible to just pin it down to a few lines. But to narrow it down, architecture is built on 4 aspects, that is art, science, technology and philosophy. Now to make it more simpler, let's say you visited a country and right now you're staring at the most iconic building right there. The fact that you're drawn towards this building is basically the beauty of the building, and that's where art is formed in architecture. Now going to the second aspect, this particular building might have been built using certain scientific principles, and that's how science is involved in architecture. Now connecting the third aspect, any building is being built using construction techniques, equipments, technical aspects and so on, and that's how technology is involved in architecture. And lastly, every structure reflects a philosophical thought, a thought that reflects the country, the people, the society and so on. And that's how architecture is inclined to philosophy. Architecture or Bachelor of Architecture (BArch) is a 5-year undergraduate program which is split into 3 parts, that is theoretical learning, practical training or internship and research. Previously, students studying any stream with mathematics as a mandatory subject could get into architecture, but recently the Council of Architecture has changed certain rules. Right now, according to the new Council of Architecture rules, students with minimum of 50% marks with physics, chemistry and mathematics as subjects could only be accommodated into an architecture course. You can also get into architecture by doing a 3-year diploma course in architecture right after 10th grade. And in addition to that, students are required to attend the NATA exam and get a score of minimum 80 out of 200. Now if you're someone who's planning to get into the top universities in India, then you could be also attending the JEE Mains Paper 2, which is completely dedicated for the architecture students. Now an architect is someone who designs a space, a structure by blending art and science into it. Whereas a civil engineer is someone who gives more importance to the scientific aspects, for example the structure, the stability and so on. And when it comes to an interior designer, just as the name says, focuses on the interior aspect of a building. Not necessarily you have to be good at drawing to become an architect, but of course it will help you through to get through NATA exam and the entire architecture college quite a bit. Mainly knowing how to draw helps you to put your thoughts into a paper and it's easily conveyed. But today we have softwares to do the job, so it's no more any sort of basic necessity. Being in an architecture school, it is important to have software skills. Trust me, once you enter architecture school, you will be exposed to a lot of software such as AutoCAD, Photoshop, SketchUp and much more. Now once you've completed architecture, not necessarily you should be practicing as an architect. There are a variety of professions you could be joining right after architecture. Let's say for example a town planner, a landscape designer, production designer or art director, video game designer, industrial and furniture designer, photographer, graphic designer, architecture journalist, 3D visualizer and so much more. And if you're someone who's interested in teaching profession in architecture or into research, you can actually do your masters and go into that field. Now, if you're planning to work in a firm as an architect, an architectural master's is not a basic requirement. But if you're someone who's interested to learn architecture in depth in any particular architecture fields, then definitely architecture masters would be a great option. There are a variety of architectural masters options such as town planning, landscape architecture, urban designing, project management, architectural interiors and so much more. Architecture is a course that requires commitment. Yes, this course is tedious, hectic, but equally fun to be honest. Now, if you're someone who's planning to do architecture, then prepare yourself to be stressed out, loaded with work, and most importantly, get ready for some sleepless nights. You know, probably your teachers might just rip off your sheets or break your models that you've been working on for the past 2 to 3 days without any sleep just to get a redo for the whole thing again. Now, I'm not trying to scare you off, but you will get used to this. And the most fun part of an architecture course is the architecture tour. You would get to visit a lot of places during this architecture course and definitely it's going to be a really great exposure for you.
Hi, my name is Nicole Karen Gomez and I'm a third-year law student at one of the leading institutes of India. So I was confused about my career path just like most students graduating from high school. But one thing I was certain of was that I wanted to pursue a professional degree that would challenge me on new levels at every step. So I took several career tests and decided law was a subject I wanted to pursue. My reasons being, law is a subject that is present in every country. Wherever there's a gathering of people, law holds its significance. And it is a very dynamic field that's constantly evolving alongside the worldly developments. And the greatest perk being a lawyer has no retirement age. So to pursue law in India, one among the other options students have is to appear for the Common Law Admission Test, also known as CLAT. And on qualifying this examination, students become eligible to enroll in the national law colleges situated in several states of India. The alternate option students have is to apply to a private university that offers the course and to comply with the internal selection process and guidelines. I personally had to submit a statement of purpose, proof of my achievements and other supporting documents in order to acquire my admission. The course I'm pursuing is called BBA LLB Honours, which is short for Bachelor of Business Administration and Bachelor of Legislative Law, which is a 5-year program in which I study business subjects alongside law subjects. The other option students have is BA LLB Honours, which is short for Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Legislative Law. This program is also 5-year long in which students study art subjects alongside law subjects. If a student has completed their undergraduate degree in a different subject and wants to pursue law, they have the option of a 3-year law program in which the subjects are only limited to law subjects. The postgraduate program for law is a year-long program in which the student specializes in one particular area of law.
Law school offers various practical experiences that prepare you to work in the legal field through the classroom and college activities, court visits, or moot court competitions. Every break, we take up internships in an advocate's chamber, legal firm, or corporate firm, which provides great exposure and insight about the working in the legal field. Having a law degree will help you in whichever field you decide to pursue, even if it is not the legal field, as law and its applications is something that every citizen should be aware of. It helps you in gaining better perspective and gives you different approaches towards things. Some of the activities that you undertake during your course of law, such as mooting, legal internships, and so forth, contributes towards your overall development as an individual by enhancing your confidence, public speaking skills, etc. Once you have a law degree and you wish to work in the legal field, some of the primary options before you would be to take up litigation and practice as an advocate in the court of law, or to take up judiciary and work as a judge. The other options before you would be to join a legal firm or the legal department of a corporate organization. These are just some of the options, as the field of law is vast and it offers limitless opportunities.
Welcome back. I am sure you enjoyed this episode of Pooja Anil taking us through architecture and Nicole Karen taking us through law and all of its interesting job possibilities. In fact, there's lots more exciting things coming up, and I'd really like you all to stay tuned. So if you like this episode, do write in to theoutreachmentor@gmail.com, subscribe and get connected.